What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about how I have changed my mindset and have become a more positive thinker. And I know we probably all want to be positively thinking 24/7, but it can be extremely hard to do so. However, we can still at least get better at it. I do want to mention that a book that has helped me, which is the 4 Agreements. It's a fantastic book, and I highly recommend that you go ahead and read it. So the first thing I want to talk about is how you view yourself. Now, you may not think that these thoughts inside your head dictate how you feel, but they definitely do. And there have been quite a few times where I have disapproved myself and my work in my head, and it was just a thought, and it actually led me to wanting to just stop working and leave the office and just be done for the day. And I could literally feel my body go hate itself, and it's just a really weird feeling. And it wasn't until I really started to reflect on my thoughts and emotions that my body was doing that. And this has probably happened to you before and you just don't know it. If you can learn to manage your thought process and not allow outside influences to impact how you think, you can change your emotions and how you can control them. I know this is going to sound pretty obvious, but if you want to start thinking more positively, you have to start talking like it. The more positive things that you say, the more you will actually receive, and you'll be able to flush out the negative thoughts more easily. Although our thoughts are internal and our mind just comes up with these thoughts, a lot of them are actually influenced by the outside world. And every time we talk with somebody, we're making agreements that will end up influencing our thought process. And society has also already made agreements for us that influence our thought process already. So the next time that you're in a conversation with somebody or a group of people, I want you to take note of how many times you nod your head or just say yeah. Because every time you do that, you are making an agreement. I like to picture shaking their hand every time I say yeah. It's just a good image to put in your head that gives you imagery on what you're doing in conversations. By making these agreements or shaking their hand in conversation, you have both just confirmed that what you have said or agreed to is in fact true. Okay, let's say that I'm talking to you and I point to that thing and I say that is a light. And you say, yeah, that is a light. We just made an agreement that that object is a light. Now, if I say I am dumb and you said, yeah, you are dumb, then we have just made an agreement that I am dumb. That agreement we just made will stay in my mind subconsciously until I find a way to break that agreement. So every time I can't solve a problem, my brain will go straight to I am dumb, and is not a good place to have if you have a ton of these bad agreements that are influenced from outside influences. Breaking these agreements is very hard, but it is possible if you are willing to do it. And a couple of key things that you should know about when trying to break these agreements is people want to spread their negativity on you. All negative speech is poison, and if you acknowledge too much of it, it will consume you. And 3, opinions are based on point of view, not truth. You need to understand that when people voice their opinion, they are not telling the truth. And a lot of times, these agreements that we are making are formed based on opinions, which can lead to false truths. If I told you that this right here was a book, and you agreed that this was a book, then to us, we are speaking truth because this in fact is a book to us. But to the rest of the world, this is not a book. It's just a tool. So don't let these false truths or opinions hinder you and your thought process. If you find yourself with these bad agreements and have acknowledged it, then you need to be able to replace it with a good agreement or a true agreement. You need to speak out loud and in your head this new agreement every time you start thinking of the bad agreement. You have to do this multiple times until you have been able to suppress the bad agreement. There have been multiple times when I have had these thoughts about my future failing, business failing, never going to make more friends, etc. And when I have those thoughts, I can literally feel my body just like becoming depressed, and it's not good. Once I acknowledge them, I will make new agreements with myself, and I'll tell myself I will be the most successful person from my high school. My business will make 6 figures in the near future. And I know these agreements can really sound egotistical and maybe a little bit extra, but after I say them to myself, my body, I can literally feel my body feeling relieved, and I feel more energized, and I want to start like being active and doing stuff. Now, I'm not saying that if you just say some good words that you'll just feel better and it's like the perfect antidote to your problems. Because that's definitely not true, but it will make progress towards controlling your thoughts and feeling more free with your thoughts and having less outside influences impact your thought process. What can lead to unnecessary cloudiness in our minds is assumptions. And by making these assumptions, you are just preparing for the worst. How many times have you made an assumption about something and you thought only the worst thing could happen? There is nothing good about what is about to happen. And after you did that something, it turned out great and you loved it. And by making that assumption, you have put forth a ton of energy into something you can't even control, and you're stressing over it. This is something that I'm still working on personally, and I'm sure almost everyone has done it before. But if we can at least acknowledge it and accept that certain things are out of our control, then we'll be able to stop stressing over our assumptions. The last thing I want to leave you with is to just do your best. Be the best version you can, but don't try harder than your best, or else you're going to end up wasting a ton of energy, and your best will never be enough for you. Well, I hope you're able to take away a couple of key things from this and possibly implement it into your life. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.